Hi, everybody. This is Katie Lance, CEO and owner of Katie Lance Consulting, and I just want to share with you a quick video here on Periscope. Now, if you're like most of us, we have been dabbling in Periscope. A lot of people have been trying out Periscope and other live streaming apps, and it's definitely a lot of fun. It's a new app, and so there's lots of questions about just getting started. So this video is going to share with you just some tips for getting started, as well as my top 10 tips for broadcasters. So let's dive in. So first of all, let's talk about getting started. The first thing that's important is you want to make sure you download the app. The app can be downloaded in either the iTunes Store or the Android Market for Google Play. The second thing you want to do is create your account with Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, you can still create an account. The third thing that you want to do is complete your bio. Now, if you've created your account from Twitter, your bio and your photo will auto-populate, but you can also edit this on Periscope if you'd like. The fourth thing that you want to do for getting started is follow friends and find new friends by watching new broadcasts and then following the broadcaster if it's a subject that you'd like to learn more about. The fifth tip is once you start watching a broadcast, leave a comment or tap the screen for hearts. Hearts are a great way to validate the broadcaster. You can see here, I've got a couple screenshots from Periscope. So it's really easy to find new followers, people that you already know, as well as people from all over the world. One of the best parts about Periscope for me has been able to really meet people from all over the globe who are sharing really amazing things, from travel to business and everything in between. So I want to share a few quick broadcasting tips as well. This is really a critical thing. And one of the best parts about Periscope is the fact that literally anybody with a touch of a button can broadcast live from anywhere in the world. So the first tip is to have a plan. You really want to have an idea of what you want to share, but also remember that Periscope is a live broadcasting tool. So don't forget to interact with people who comment and ask questions. A lot of times I like to just have a couple notes written down, maybe on a notepad nearby, just have a general sense of what I'm going to talk about. But again, keep in mind that this isn't just a one-way communication. Periscope is a two-way street. Social media is a two-way street. So be prepared, but also understand that you want to really engage the people who are watching your broadcast and be prepared to answer their questions. The second tip is to know how to toggle the camera. So one of the nice parts of Periscope is you can actually toggle the camera to either face you or face somewhere else. And you can switch the camera between yourself and facing away from you by just double tapping the screen. Just remember, there's a sound delay, so make sure you pause when you're talking. The third tip is make sure that you either are choosing to enable or disable the location feature on Periscope. So when you're broadcasting on Periscope, you can actually choose to showcase exactly where you're located. So I encourage you to be cautious when you're scoping from somewhere where you don't want to reveal exactly where you are. For example, maybe your home or a place of business that you don't want to reveal the exact location. However, if you run a location-based business, this could be a great feature for you to drive local foot traffic. So, for example, if you have a local retail store or any sort of local business, maybe a restaurant where you really do want to drive traffic to your actual physical location, then enabling that location setting is a great idea. The fourth tip is to make sure you save your broadcast. Now, what's great is once your broadcast is finished, your broadcast will automatically save to your phone. I like to personally sync all of my videos and photos to Dropbox so I can delete those videos and videos right off my phone because obviously they take up a lot of memory. The other thing I'll mention too about broadcasts is that they live on Periscope for just 24 hours. So once you broadcast something, they do live on Periscope for other people to watch the replay for 24 hours. But of course, you can always save those onto your phone and then at some point upload those onto YouTube or any of your other social media networks. The fifth tip is when you're broadcasting, put your phone in airplane mode. Before you start a broadcast, put your phone in airplane mode, turn the Wi-Fi on, and that way, if you receive a call during the broadcast, it's not going to interrupt your broadcast by any means. So a lot of times if you receive a call and you're broadcasting, that sort of interrupts your broadcast. But by putting your phone into airplane mode, you won't receive those calls and your broadcast will go just smooth sailing. The sixth tip is make sure you introduce yourself at the beginning of a Periscope, beginning of a broadcast. Make sure you start talking right away and welcome people and then introduce yourself. So, as you broadcast more and more and more and more people will know who you are, but you always have new people coming into your broadcast. I know I always have new people coming into my broadcast. So make sure you do a quick introduction of who you are and what you're all about. And then, especially if you plan to do a long Periscope, I like to, throughout my broadcast, every 10 minutes or so, reintroduce myself. If I see that, someone in the room has invited a lot of their followers, I will take a moment to reintroduce myself to anybody who's new coming to the broadcast who may not know who I am. The seventh tip is to make sure you really engage others. Your broadcast shouldn't be all about you, but really engage people by asking questions and answering questions. And there might be sometimes that you want to do a broadcast where you just want to speak, and maybe you don't want to necessarily answer all the questions right away. So just make sure you let people know that right off the bat and say, you know what, guys, I just have a couple tips that I really want to give you. At the end, here's where I'll take your questions and feedback. So just, communicating with people who are watching, but really ideally engage with others. That's a really big part of Periscope. The eighth tip is to block the trolls. So, just like any other social network, there's a few people who, like to make trouble for everybody else. So my opinion is do not engage. Every social media platform has a few trolls. They're few and far between. Just to block the trolls, make sure you tap their name and then click block. My ninth tip is ask for the share. At the beginning of your broadcast, remind people that they can follow you on Periscope, and they can also share the broadcast with their followers, but give them a reason why. If you're giving a tip about social media, or you're giving a tip about maybe marketing or whatever you're broadcasting about, give people a reason why they should share that with their followers. I find that really the biggest bang for my buck is at the end. So you can also ask them to share the replay with their Twitter followers at the end. I usually say something like, if this was really valuable to you, if this broadcast was helpful, when this broadcast ends, please make sure to click the share button, and you can actually share the replay with your Twitter followers at the end. My 10th tip is make sure you're prepared. Be prepared is really important. Promote your broadcast ahead of time on other social networks. Have a plan about when you are going to broadcast, and then add it to your calendar along with other social media and content plans. My bonus tip is after your broadcast is done, go back and watch the recording. You can then click on people's comments, see their profile, and then follow new people. It's a lot easier to follow new people watching the replay than sometimes it is during the broadcast when you're live. My last piece of advice is just do it. I really encourage you to just jump in and try it. Your first scope may not be perfect, but that's okay. Jump in. The community and I can guarantee that you will really meet some incredible people. So ready to get started? I definitely would love to connect with you on Periscope. Simply download the app, and then you can search for my name, search for Katie Lance, and connect with me. For more information about Periscope tips, broadcasting tips, please follow me. You can go to katielance.com/Periscope for newbies. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.